Dr. Ali Sarfraz, President, Kashmir Council of Australia, distinguished members of the Kashmir Council of Australia, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Our thanks are due to the Kashmir Council of Australia for organizing this seminar highlighting the Kashmir Black Day. I would like to express my to all the speakers and the members of the media and audience who are participating in today's event to express solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. The Kashmir Black Day is marked every year by Kashmiris around the world to condemn the forcible occupation of their state by Indian armed forces and a diabolical accession to India by a defunct Maharaja. Talking about Kashmir, one is overwhelmed by the enormity of historic tragedy, misery, grief, injustice, disregard for basic human values and rights, deceit, betrayal, and treachery meted upon the people of Kashmir for centuries now. In my intervention today, I will try to briefly cover the background of the commemoration of the Kashmir Black Day. The British East India Company sold the territory of Jammu and Kashmir along with its inhabitants to wealthy courtier Gulab Singh for a small amount of 7.5 million rupees in 1776. Gulab Singh and his successors ruled Kashmir tyrannically, denying people of all rights and liberties. In 1931, mass uprising against the then Maharaja Hari Singh's oppressed place, which was ruthlessly crushed. In the continuing tragedy, on 27 October 1947, after the departure of British, the Indian Armed Forces forcibly occupied Jammu and Kashmir and coerced Maharaja Hari Singh to illegally sign the instrument of accession, despite having a standstill agreement with Pakistan. This was also in violation of the 1947 Indian Independence Act, which mandated the rulers of the princely states that to decide the question of accession in accordance with the wishes of their citizens. India has long been falsely claiming that Maharaja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession on 26 October 1947. The fact of the matter is that Indian armed forces had invaded invaded the state of Jammu and Kashmir on 26 October 1947. Consequently, Maharaja flew to Jammu and Kashmir on 27 October to discuss the situation with the Indian interlocutors, where he was forced to sign the instrument of accession. The back date was put on the document to justify the false narrative that Maharaja had signed the accession on 26 October and invited India to bring its armed forces to quell the so-called tribal invasion in the state. The emphasis on tribal invasion is yet another falsification of facts by India, in trying to convey the impression that rebellion against the Maharaja in the state of Jammu and Kashmir was due to the incursion of tribal Pashtuns sponsored by Pakistan. The reality is that people of Jammu and Kashmir had against the tyrannical Maharaja rule much earlier than his accession. I will take the liberty to quote here from the works of Christopher Sneeder, the well-known Australian politico-strategic analyst, who authored the book The Untold Story of the People of Azad Kashmir. According to Sneeder, the disgruntled Muslims in Punch has started a civil disobedience movement against Maharaja's rule, including no tax and no rent payment. Maharaja resorted to brutal violence, including indiscriminate killings, disarming the Muslims and later distributing the arms and ammunition deposited by them to non-Muslims under the pretext of self-defense. Maharaja's discriminatory and communal actions targeting Muslims resulted in backlash. The Muslim leaders of Punch and Bab sent 2 telegrams to the first Governor General of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, on 29th August, drawing his attention to the anti-Muslim brutalities of Maharaja's forces after the killing of 500 people took place on 24th August 1947. In the meanwhile, a pro-Pakistan anti-Maharaja indigenous uprising by Muslims of Punj Jagir in western Jammu had liberated large parts of this region from Maharaja's control and established Azad or Free Kashmir government. A major massacre of Muslims was carried out in Jammu by Maharaja's troops, supported by RSS and other non-Muslim militants. According to the Times London's report, 237,000 Muslims were systematically exterminated by the forces held by the Maharaja in person. This happened in October 1947, days before the Pathan invasion and the Maharaja's accession to India in a bid to change the region's demography. Based on his primary research, Sneeden has thus also discarded the Indian claim that the violence in Jammu and Kashmir began only because of the invasion of Kashmir by Pashtuns. Similarly, Richard Simmons, who authored the book The Making of Pakistan, wrote that a substantial number of men joined anti-Maharaja allies after his forces started burning whole of the villages from where even a single family was involved in the revolt against him. According to Sneeden, it was unlikely that Pakistanis were creating Maharaja's troubles in Jammu and Kashmir, as they were themselves overwhelmed by physical, administrative, and emotional ramifications of the partition. He mentioned tribal lineage of Sudans from Punj, who were related to the Sudazai Pathans, to be the important contributing factor in Pashtuns coming to rescue of Kashmiri Muslims in the wake of their massacre by Maharaja.